Hello, and welcome to the Law School Playbook. Today's topic is law school exam prep pitfalls. These are things you want to avoid when preparing for final exams. Pitfall number 1, passively reading your outline without ever actively using it for a meaningful purpose. If you listen to my materials or read my materials on my website, you know that I am a big proponent of actively engaging with the material to maximize your benefit and the time expended. So passively reading will familiarize you with the material, but it really won't help further your interest in performing on exams. So try instead using your outline to write practice essays. Use it to write an attack or distilled outline, and use it maybe creatively if you're a visual person to create posters, note cards, mind maps, other tools that will help you memorize. Pitfall number 2, biased studying. So this is one you may not think of, but don't tailor your studying to a prediction of what the professor is going to ask. If you have a 14-week semester, everything from week 1 to week 14 is fair game, even, unless you are specifically told otherwise, right? So it's all there available to ask. And students who engage in bias studying are trying to predict what the professor is going to be. So again, fair game. And I raised this because this happened recently at my law school. And here's the student perspective on that bias studying. The student says, my first year midterm for 1L was property. Every student thought the exam topic was going to be adverse possession because the practice essays were about adverse possession and we spent a lot of time discussing it in class. The topic was trespass, arguably much easier and simpler to write about because there are fewer elements, but many of us didn't adequately study for this topic and completely bombed the midterm. True story. I was there to witness it. It baffled it baffled me that the students, sort of started this rumor amongst themselves and they all came to believe that they had gamed the system and figured out what was going to be on the exam. You can never predict what's going to be on the exam. And so in this instance, collectively, it resulted in the class performing extremely poorly because they had engaged in bias studying and weren't adequately prepared for the question asked. So that's a pitfall you definitely want to avoid. Pitfall number 3, being an island. So don't go law school studying alone, even if you are an introvert. The people who you are going to law school with will be your colleagues in firms and in practice. Exchange ideas with them and practice with them. So find a study group. And if you're not a study group person, to be honest, never was. I always had a partner. In fact, my partner is still my closest friend to this day. But we got through law school together, quizzing each other, talking through issues. You can also use your professor. I know students are hesitant sometimes to do this, to ask questions of your professor. Not one lawyer goes into law teaching that doesn't want to help students, right? So keep that in mind. Even if you feel uncomfortable, try to sit with the discomfort and seek that feedback and engage with the professor to get your questions answered. Seek a student advisor or a mentor. At the law school where I work, we have something called peer advisors. That's also a person that you could use to exchange ideas and practice with. Working alone won't challenge your thinking. In other words, you won't know what you don't know until you go to take your exam. So I really encourage you not to be an island. Pitfall number 4, failing to read exam instructions. I know this sounds very basic, but exam stress does crazy things to people. And each semester, I always have a student who performed poorly based on a failure to read exam instructions. So keep in mind that most exam instructions are available to you before your exam. So they're often posted on your learning management system, whether it's Twen or Canvas. Some professors will email them to you, and others will actually discuss them in class. So don't kind of glaze over and think, well, I'll get back to this when I'm actually studying for the exam. Instructions are really important. At the end of the day, law school exams are reading tests, and that includes reading the instructions. So examine them in great detail before you get in that exam room. And this will allow you to ask clarifying questions. It will increase your understanding of the exam. And probably most importantly, it will save you precious exam time. Pitfall number 5, ignoring exam software. So be sure to open the exam software. For example, I think I spelled that wrong. I have it as Exemplify. I think it's Exemplify. But whatever your exam software is, open it and play around with it before exam time. Use the software's mock exam and note how your professor uses the software. So find out, are there character limits? Are you allowed to copy and paste and move content around in that way? Don't assume that's a given. Many times it's not. Most instances, there won't be spell check or grammar check. So these are things you want to ask your professors. And find out if there are other formatting limitations. So please don't ignore exam software. It's something that could cause you a great deal of stress if you do. So don't fall into this pitfall. And finally, pitfall number 6 is believing that working hard means self-harm. So please, please do not treat law school as a competition in brutalizing yourself. Instead, spread the studying over the semester. The best students realize, okay, from day one, I need to have an eye toward the final exam. So it's not about depriving yourself in the end or putting in countless hours when you're really not getting anything else out of the material. You have to take care of yourself, not only during the semester, but particularly during exams. So this means eating well, sleeping. Your brain needs the sleep in order to function well. So do not think that staying up all night will help you perform better on the exam. And then do something else daily. Come home and watch a show after your exam. Go for a walk, go to the gym if that's what you like to do. It is okay to do something else, even during exam time. And keep in mind that making yourself miserable doesn't mean you're working hard or effectively. In fact, if you feel that miserable, you may not be receptive to actually taking in the information. So try to be kind to yourself through this law school process, through the exam period. And now that you're aware of these traps, you can avoid them. So the Law School Playbook and I will be here to support you along the way. So as always, do your best and I'll be rooting for you. Thanks.